All right, everybody. I just want to let y'all know it's your host with the most, man. It's your boy G Cole. You tuning into Pump Radio. I'm doing an interview today with Ekstra AI, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate you being here. And yeah, man. First thing I want to ask you, man, is just tell me a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your background, man.
Yeah, cool. So I have someone who just joined me on my feed for whatever reason. Yo, bro, I'm gonna remove you. That was an accident. But feel free to join back in a little bit of time. Right now, I'm in an interview. Oh, jump over to Pump Radio. Yeah, he left. All right. Guys, if you're joining my space, I really appreciate it. I have an interview with Pump Radio. You guys can't see him on mine. I've got some viewers here, there's like 8. So if you guys want to see the full interaction, I would go to Pump Radio. But yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Dimitri. Um, I am I live on the East Coast. So I grew up in New Jersey, New York City area. Born and raised. I spent some time in DC and some time in Seattle. I worked in Seattle at AWS. What else can I say? I got married 4 years ago. I bought a house right before like right during that COVID time.
Hmm.
I had my first child like 3 months ago now. So we've got
Yes.
a newborn upstairs. Um, all good stuff, man. You know what you can do?
Yeah, yeah.
If you open up another tab, you can go to
Mhm.
mine and then you can join there as well.
Let's see here. Let's try it real quick. Let's see. I'm gonna go into Pump Fun. Let's go to Extra. Okay, I gotta mute the stream though. Hold on, give me 1 second here. All right, I'm gonna raise my hand here. There we go.
Yeah, now we're in the money.
Okay. So I got a feedback. So okay, I mute you on my end. So do you hear an echo right now?
Never mind, never mind, never mind. All right. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Hey, what up, everybody? I'm on Extra.ai, man. Pump Radio in the building. We're doing an interview. So, yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna get off your stage so we could get the interview going.
Yeah, let's do it. I thought it would work. It didn't work. All right,
All
cool.
right, cool. All right, cool. But yeah, so yeah, that's a little bit about yourself, man. Yeah, I'll let you know right now. Like I've been married 10 years now, so it's cool to be married. I have a daughter myself. She's 13 now. So yeah, man, happy life, man. I love my life. Yeah, I mean, so that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was my first kid. We were, I don't know, man. Like it's that feeling where it's like, are you ready? Are you not ready? I've got so much going on already. You
Mm.
never feel like it's the right time, but I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. It's a beautiful baby.
That's
So
awesome, man.
now it's like, hell yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, now that I asked you that, man, the first thing I'm gonna ask you, man, is what is Extra.ai for everybody tuning in?
Yeah. So Extra AI is a company I started in New York. It's just started off as Extra. The idea was like we provide extra information, extra data, extra details. So during COVID in New York City, it was a really hard time for a lot of businesses. They were shutting down left and right. We had the lockdown. And so they were faced with the option. In New York City, it's critical because they're spending like 30, $40,000 on rent, sometimes more. And like if you have a hot location in New York, it's really hard for that to come back around. So some of these people have been there for 15, 20 years, and you would think that like these people should be loaded with cash. That's not true. A lot of them are barely making it. Like in fact, 60% of all businesses that start in New York fail in the first like 2 years. So,
Oh,
the profit margin is probably high, but like so are your bills. So you're
mhm,
making a lot of money. Um, you're doing a lot of things. So a lot of people count on their next month revenue to pay rent. So like when you're being told, hey, you got to close down shop,
mhm.
but you still need to pay rent, puts you in like a little bit of situation there. So a lot of people were taking out like mortgage loans, HELOCs, all types of
Man.
stuff just to, yeah, just to keep their spot that they've been at for 10, 15 years. And they had no indicator to let them know when it was going to get better. And then New York launched the whole like it's partial lockdown. So if you remember, restaurants open, but it was like 6 foot distance. Social
Mhm.
distancing was practiced. So a lot of these companies couldn't get the business that they used to have. So it was like I usually have 200 customers, but the law is telling me I can only have 50 today. So it's cutting into their margin, which means they have to run like half an operation or they can run a full operation. You know, you have to make those decisions. But ultimately, they hired Extra to help them make the decision. Should they renew their lease? Should they not renew their lease? How should they go about this? Should they launch halftime? And so what we would do is tap into their existing cameras and we would just monitor foot traffic and we would use a whole bunch of different models to do this. There was like YOLO, we used Media Post from Google, like we used a lot of like just bootstrap models. Um,
Okay.
just to monitor foot traffic and then we kept going, we kept growing, we kept adding more and more advanced analytics. We started talking about optimizing their storefronts and capturing people, capturing the market that's right in front of them. And so we did a really good job there and we've grown this network to 9,000 cameras, today over 20,000 cameras, and we're in multiple countries today. But
Nice.
we started in New York. In New York, we capitalized. We did really well, and now we want to take this network of cameras that we've amassed and turn it into something completely different. So the idea now and why we're in the Web3 space, when you ask what is Extra AI,
Mhm.
Extra AI is utilizing this network of cameras from the entity of Extra to power human beings in their day-to-day lives. So a quick example, you're in New York City, you're looking for parking. If you've ever been in a busy city, you know it's very hard to find parking sometimes. Imagine you can just tap into one of the many cameras that are plugged up and say, hey, where can I find parking right now?
Mhm.
Those are the kind of interactions that we're trying to power. That is at the most simple, like that is the easiest way to explain to someone what we're trying to do with Extra AI.
Cool, man. And when you say we, who started Extra AI? Was it just you and someone else, or who started Extra AI?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll go back to the about me. I started X-ray on myself. Like a little about me, and everyone that met me or knows me will probably tell you the same thing. I'm a relentless hustler. At heart, I'm an entrepreneur, and I think all entrepreneurs share this kind of like thought process where, for some reason, you know, like your whole life, someone has probably told you get a good job, go to school. You know, you follow this path. When you have like this heart of an entrepreneur, there's nothing you can do about it. It's not a choice to wake up and like grind and hustle. Like that's just who you are as a being, where you have to create something. If you started something, you have pump radio. I guarantee you, before pump radio, there was something else, and probably
Right.
before that, there was like you just have to keep going.
Mm.
So I'm one of those people that I just have to keep going. So I started Extra AI solely off of like a whim. Like literally, we were out. It was COVID lockdown, on the scenario where I was at a bar talking to an owner and him expressing this problem. And that's how this came up. It was like, yo, you know what I could do? And then I went door to door that same night and started asking owners if they'd be interested in that. I started
That's cool,
exchanging
man.
numbers. Yeah, that was it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go try next door, and I kept doing that because it was such a COVID gave you that airtime with whoever the owner was. There were so
Mm.
limited people, so it was an easy gateway. And like by the end of the night, I'm in like 20, 30 stores deep with phone numbers. And initially,
Nice.
I started off free. I was like, yeah, I'll just try this, and then it rolled out into a full on service. Now we have
That's cool,
eight
man.
employees in a small office.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing everything for free. Next thing you know what I mean? I might have an office here one day. Yeah, I got a studio, so
That's
you know what I
it. That's
mean?
it.
Never
Prove
know.
prove that it's valuable, and then you'll get value.
That's right. That's right, man. And you know, I gotta ask you, as how does Extra turn like normal cameras into like the smart cameras that you're talking about?
So Extra doesn't. We don't actually turn the cameras, but if you use OBS,
Mhm.
or if you use like any kind of camera system, then you know the camera does what the camera does. It just streams a video, and then you can use a program and interact with that camera however you want. And that camera is still streaming a video. Like right now, if you wanted the same video to stream to your desktop somewhere else, it can do that. You can have this open somewhere else, and this just be an overlay. The same way OBS works, where it's like OBS virtual camera. So very similar kind of scenario, except what we do is we start, and if I had my laptop, I would just open it up and show you some quick demos. Let me see if I could pop one open, but as I'll continue talking while I think about how
Mhm.
I would do that. What we do is we overlay the overlay. So this right now, this stream that we're looking at, you on Pump Fund through this is what
Mhm.
my model sees, and my
Oh,
model interacts
okay.
with this, and
Okay.
my model basically tries to process or understand. And it's not my model. Let me take that back. I'm not even going to be false. We're using models that exist already. So we
Okay.
haven't created our own model. We are training different elements of a model and different interactions we want to power, but we don't even have a model. We've been using YOLO, we've been using media pose, we've been using like the industry standard for motion and tracking. But it would ultimately just outline a box around me today and say like, oh, I see this. Yeah, let me
Gotcha.
launch. Let me. I'm actually going to launch a quick demo.
You're cool. If you want, there's a screen share down at the bottom here. You can screen share whatever it is on your PC. Yeah, I mean, that's up to you. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, whenever you wanna show that, that's cool. While you're doing that though, if you don't mind me asking, you got Extra AI, but what is Extra OS?
Extra OS is our operating system.
Okay.
So right now, like the way that Extra AI is set up, and we didn't even get into this, but we have customers today. We
Mhm,
have customers that we service. We have our largest customer is the ad space, like all of these digital signage ads. This is our biggest customer. This is how we make most of our money. And what they want to do is very simple. They want to find people with screens, and they want to find people who want to promote, and
mm,
they bridge them. That's it. And now how they do this on their own platform is something that we kind of modeled our own after. Except what we want to do is we want to find people who own cameras, and then we
mhm.
want to find people who like want to use those cameras. So we're
Nice.
bridging the same supply demand, and we call it our operating system because you can do a lot more with it. If you hook up your camera to our OS, perhaps you don't want it to be public at all. You just want it to be private. Maybe you just want to do home automation stuff where if the camera sees you getting up, it'll turn on the lights. If the camera sees
Mm,
you point at your TV, it should turn on the TV. Maybe you want to do stuff like that yourself. You can use our system to do that. We have the motion package, we have everything set up so that you can plug and play and play around with it. But if you want to open it up to the world, you can do this through ROS.
nice, man, nice, and, I know you explaining this all day and everything, but, in, like, the most simplest way, can you explain, like, what Extra, does in real life, like traffic or, like, parking, stuff like that you were talking about?
Yeah, yeah. So right now we have a couple different the ways that we make money today are subscription revenue from smaller businesses. These are like small, medium-sized businesses. We're talking like your average restaurant, your average bar, um, people who want to launch a restaurant or a bar,
Mhm,
real estate investors, developers. These are all the people that care about just the foot traffic. They want to know, is this area worth my money? Or am I going to make money in this area? If I launch a business here, will it be successful? This is like due diligence before you launch a business or buy something. So that's one way we make money. We typically charge a subscription model if they're interested in like an annual lifetime update, like weekly or daily or hourly. We can provide that. If they're interested in API, we can provide that too. Then there's the model number two, where it's existing businesses. These are
Mhm.
the cafes. These are the people who time is of the essence. You know, small changes impact their business. So, like a cafe in New York City, for example, if the train station near their cafe is down for the day, they might
Mhm.
lose all their revenue for the whole day. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's that serious. There's like three. You got to think like the train is feeding them people all day. They get off the train. This is the first cafe. That
Mhm.
train station is down. I have no reason to walk over there. So like they're relying on that. So they may staff it. They may start preparing food. They may start preparing coffee. So all of that's a loss in addition to the labor, in addition to the like in addition to everything they're doing. And they're usually trying to prepare for the amount of people they expect. So that could be a couple thousand people.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
so yeah, that's a big loss just from one train
Yeah.
route. So we give them that kind of insight. We'll give them an alert at 6 a.m. if something happens, and all this is programmed. This is all automated. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool,
We
man. That yeah, that's wild. That's wild
and
for
then
sure.
and our last right now where our last piece of making money would come from the ad impression. So if someone has this digital signage somewhere, like those billboards, for a
Mhm.
long time they weren't selling billboards. Billboards weren't they were going down like the business for billboards and digital signage or signage in general. We started to see a decrease. Everyone thought it was going to move to like everything's on the internet, everything's on your phone, everything's TikTok. Now we're starting to see a comeback because of the analytics like Extra, where they're able to see how many impressions, how many people are viewing these ads, and they can start optimizing the placement. So it's becoming more and more valuable and more worth it. And I honestly think it's the future of advertisement. I don't think it's going to be trapped in a phone. I think they're going to make interactive experiences everywhere. I think that's just going to be the future in general. You're
Nice.
not going to exist without that. And so I guess the last piece, I know I'm dragging this,
Yeah,
but that's
keep
how
going.
we're making money. And then there's the work that we're doing. So
Mhm.
this is an area where we're not making money, but I'm
Mhm.
determined to get this done. So we do. We partnered with Department of Transportation for research purposes.
Cool.
And right now, we are trying to figure out every single way that traffic is caused. So we believe there are multiple ways that cause traffic, and most people will say traffic is easy. You know, it's congestion. If the street is 10 feet long or 20 feet long, it can only fit two cars. So if there's more than two cars, that equals traffic. That's to our knowledge, and if you look up most studies and most theories on traffic, it comes straight to inputs and outputs. That's the current belief. I
Mm.
challenge that. I don't think that's true. I think that you need to get down to the gritty level of, I think anyone in any profession knows um, that what meets the eye, what you see today, like what's that high level means nothing. You got to dive deep in there. You've got to look at every single step. And so what we're doing is we're looking at traffic at a corridor level. So we're looking at street level. How does traffic get caused on this block? You know, I can't apply that to the next block. I want to know
Mm.
how traffic gets caused on this block. And we're doing that for every street with intelligence, with AI, with models. So there's no one just sitting there looking at cameras like, I'm looking at this block today. So
Right.
we're trying to create our end goal is to create this model that can auto detect when traffic is at risk at the most granular level.
That's cool, man. And you guys also look at, like, highways and stuff like that as well?
Screenshot the tab with the interview. Say that one more time.
You guys also do, like, look at highways and all that kinda stuff too as well?
We're gonna move it. So right now we're focused on the block, but yeah, we want to like we set up a goal. Our goal is to eliminate traffic. Like that's a statement we're making.
Mhm.
If we, like people can argue if that's realistic or not. I think
Mhm.
I think we can set up the method to do it. Obviously, I can't eliminate traffic unless I drive every car.
Mhm.
But I think we can definitely establish a methodology that, if it's followed, in theory, it should eliminate traffic. So like that's our goal. That's what I'm marching towards. If you go on our X and scroll down, you'll see the details on um, the work we're doing with the Department of Transportation, what they're looking for. It was very public. You know, they're open to I think anyone working with them and figuring this out.
That's cool, man. That's cool, and, My opinion, like, yeah, you know, everyone studies about traffic and stuff like that. All I gotta say is if people were driving 90 miles an hour, you know, I think we'll be alright.
Yeah, yeah. If everyone just sped up,
Uh,
we'll just
but,
uh,
another question I got for you, man, is, you know, what's the Shift app, and when is it coming?
the shift app is my idea of like how if I had if you took TikTok and we think about TikTok and what it is, or X or any social media platform, this is hyper um, hyper personalization. This is personalization as we know it in its finest form on a digital asset. As far as algorithms go, and something that can update live time towards your liking and be flexible and constantly change based on how you're feeling. Those are the algorithms that represent it. These are, in most scenarios, not AI algorithms. I think most people don't know what the TikTok algorithm is, but some people think they know how to hack it. Ultimately, it's SEO. Like that's what it is. It surfaces what they think is the most relevant content based on many different data points. And
Mhm,
so, if you think about a website, most people optimize their website. Most people will spend some time to make sure it's easy for you to move around. Make sure that, like, and how they do this is there's usually heat maps that you can pull up and you can see where someone puts their cursor. You can
mhm.
see how long someone spent on a page and how long it took them to scroll. Like you can get really granular digitally, and there's
Wow.
no secret there that on the digital side of our entire existence, we've done a really good job at making sure things are optimized for people. That's how Apple is even Apple.
Yeah.
In the physical world, can we say the same thing? Can we say that like we've truly optimized the physical world for the human existence? If you just
Mm.
think about roads alone, roads weren't created because you and I needed to get from A and B. Like that's not what they're optimized for. Roads are optimized so that I could move uh, material left and right fast. It has nothing to do with you as a human. You driving is like kind of unnatural because you have to follow signs, you have to make lefts, you have to make turns. These are all things that a machine is supposed to do, not a human. So we
Mhm.
haven't really we haven't created anything in the physical world that's truly optimized for a human being. We've
Oh,
created ways that we can optimize machines in a space, and that's as far as we've been. So when I think of Shift App and the goal for Shift App, I want to
mhm.
take the idea of the algorithm and make it for the real world. And now, like if we throw this in, why I think this even is relevant, there's autonomous vehicles that are launching left and right. Everyone's just going to get in a car in the future, and it's just going to drive them where they got to go. They're not going to have to drive. How is that car going to be optimized for you? Besides, how is the experience going to change? Are you going to get in the car and type in the GPS the way you do today, and like that's it, and it just gets you there? I don't think so. I think it's going to be as simple as swiping up like TikTok.
Mm.
I'm going to get in a car and it's going to take me to where I just happen to want to go because I was at somewhere closer with a similar vibe.
That's
Just
right.
setting the goals. Like that's what I think we should build towards, that kind of stuff. It could be
Mhm.
sci-fi, it could be unrealistic, but who cares? Build towards that. Optimize the world for humans. So Shift
Exactly.
Up is going to be like my attempt at doing so.
Nice, man, nice. Yeah, and when's it coming, if you don't mind me asking?
The first iteration of the Shift app, which is going to be extremely different from the way I'm explaining it right now,
Mhm.
is coming in June. So right
Nice.
now we have a couple of things that we are going to ask for help with from our community, from the people collaborating, and the chance to earn some extra token. So
Mhm.
there's this thing called homography with
Okay.
cameras. We use cameras. That's a large part of our network. And so we need help with homography in some really hard to reach spots where the camera's like, 100 feet in the air pointed at a weird angle or something, or it's like whatever. We need help with homography. Homography basically means what the camera sees um, should correspond to a real physical place in the world. Now, you can usually map that out with Google. I can put
Mm.
in this camera sees a car going straight forward. I could probably assume that because it's going towards a building I see over there that I recognize or that Google recognizes, I'll be able to know that it's not actually just going that way. It's actually driving like from east to west, not from south to north, even though that's the orientation that you see on the camera. So you
Mhm.
have to be able to map it out in the real world and see, and that's what homography is. You're basically taking an image, and I can plot this out on a coordinate on a map. And in some places, there's no physical indicator around, so I
Mhm.
don't know, like, and it might be in like Chicago, like, so I don't know anything about that area. So
Mhm.
having someone physically there with their phone GPS ping, I can now validate that what this camera is seeing is located here. It's this highway, not the highway next to it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. That's
It's just
definitely awesome.
validate. It's making sure we have the best data.
Mhm.
That is what the app is going to be for. And the cool thing on the app is the parking feature I mentioned.
Yeah,
Find
yeah, yeah.
parking live time.
Yeah, that's cool. I thought that was cool when you're,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I gotta get that front row spot, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, malls, all the outdoor parking lots, we're trying to get them on board right now. We're working pretty fast with this.
Good, man, that's good, and, yeah, that goes into my next question as well, is, like, could you use Extra? Is it, like, regular people, businesses, developers, or is it all of the above?
So we want to let me be clear. So initially, right now, who can use Extra? Today, businesses can use Extra. It
Mhm,
gives them foot traffic analytics. It gives them ad impressions. This is how we make money today.
mhm,
Um, our future state, our goal is to make this so anyone can use Extra. I want to make sure that you can use Extra or I can use Extra out in public. You're a content creator. So, like, imagine a future where we're doing this interview, just walking down a block in a city and having a casual conversation. And I'm tapping into cameras to record us on the way. Like, imagine a world where, like, you can use what's around you as you to your will.
mhm.
I think that would be pretty cool to see. That's not a feature that we have yet. That is a concept, but I'm saying, like, we're trying to make as many things as possible so anyone can use Extra. The app for parking is an example of anyone using Extra.
Nice, man. Nice. And also, I know that we're here on Pump Fun right now, and you're on your token. I'm on my token as well. What is XTRA? You know what I mean? And why does it matter?
The Extra XTRA, that is our token economy. So this is a great question. I feel like it's definitely fundamental. It's something everyone should understand.
Hmm.
Extra and how it works. So if we go back to the earlier examples, or if we just talk about our business model today, our business model today is Extra to consumer. That is the only relationship we have to manage or consider. So I find a business that wants foot traffic analytics, they pay me a monthly subscription. And that is how we operated for about 2 years. Now, if we throw in the ad revenue, if we talk about advertisers, they have these digital billboards and they want impressions. So that's now two different relationships we have to manage. We have to manage our relationship to the consumer who has the camera. We give them foot traffic, but now they want to buy that foot traffic because they want to know how many people saw that ad. So now we have to get with this person and say, hey, this person's interested in your data. Would you be interested in them looking at it? Would you agree to them also looking at it? So now we have to manage that relationship and this person's going to say, yeah, but I want to get paid for it. So now we have to manage a transaction there. Now, if we throw in, like, you want to use the app because you want to start finding parking spots, I now have to manage a new relationship. And then we have to put a price tag on this. Like, how much does this cost? This person's going to want as much money as they can. You're using my camera, give me $5 million every single time. Like, that's what they're going to say. But we have to quantify this, and we can't do that because ad spaces are like real estate. It's like everything else. You don't know how much its value is until there's value brought to it. Like, it's like the stock market. So we can't quantify, and nor is that our business model. I don't really care enough to start putting a price tag and start working into this model. That's a whole different team. That's a sector of business. That's not us. We provide analytics and intelligence. So going into the crypto space and using this extra token, the extra token's job and sole purpose is to manage these relationships and transactions We don't need a bank. We don't need a middleman. We need two parties that agree to the same sides of the smart contract. And as long as their side is executed, this token can now be released from one party to the next. And so the crypto network, the Web3 space, Extra, all of this, if you think about crypto at like a high level, it's designed for network growth. What we're doing with it, like this is optimal. This is prime.
Mhm.
Can you do it with fiat? Yeah, you can. But why? Like, well, why would you want to? Who wants to manage that? Like, and why would I
Right.
want a bank to manage that? We want this to be a closed ecosystem. This is a really easy way to do that.
Yeah, exactly, man, and how can someone earn XTRA?
A couple of different ways. So if you're the person who connects the camera, that's the easiest way because you've got nothing going on. You connect the camera, you let it sit. People use it, people don't. Like you'll get paid that way. That's one way to earn, the easiest way to join, and the way that we want to scale the fastest. That's our race. So we'll be onboarding aggressively the next couple months. The
Mhm.
second way to earn is if you're a developer and you create an app that people use because they would need to use more extra tokens. So it's almost like when you launch a token on Pump Fund, you get like a creator fee, creator reward. If you launch an app on Extra and it drives
Mhm.
more usage of Extra, you get a percent. It's almost like getting commission for selling this guy's camera. You're selling his data for him essentially. So you're
That's
basically
pretty cool.
getting rewards. You're just building rewards and accumulating them. So in many ways, you can make more money than this person because you can connect your app to 5,000 cameras where they only own one. And so you're connecting rewards from every single one that you use. So that's option number two. Option number three is the feedback loop. So you're an end user. You're just someone who has the app on your phone. You like the app. Eventually, we're going to need to know that the data that you're seeing on your app is what happens in real life. So just small icons might come up like, was this within 10 feet of the distance like that was this in 10 feet of wherever we told you it would be? And you clicking yes, that would be a way to earn. I don't have it drawn out yet. We haven't put a number on that, but that would be a way to earn. I think it's fair to say that anyone who does work will be compensated with some kind of transaction.
Yeah, man, and, that's really cool, man, I like that. I definitely like that, you know what I mean? It's very innovative, you know what I mean? So that's really cool, and, also, the other question I got for you is, like, how does e how will Extra, like, help cities and businesses?
So a couple of different ways. We right now we're aiming for a city contract. We're aiming to start working with cities more and more, just with traffic and congestion alone. And we're optimizing space for cars. That's the whole purpose of this Department of Transportation initiative. But
Mhm,
future state, I think we'll be able to help with smart cities to start integrating and start powering the entire city around the people that are in it. Like if you ever drive your car on a road and you are the only one on the road, but you stop at a red light and there's no cars that are on that other street that are going in front of you, that's not a smart city. Like why the hell are you at a red light when there's no one else there? That makes no
right,
makes no sense,
right,
right? So like these are ways that we think we want to drive this. We want to push this. We want to say, hey, we can do this a lot better. And we can do
nice,
it and we've already built the infrastructure. Like that's the beauty of it. These cameras that we're tapping into are not new cameras. These exist
yeah,
already. People already have them set up.
mhm,
So that would be the city side. For businesses, this is really cool. I think our work and what we've done with businesses so far is so granular, so precise. I think it's right now we are trying to explore whether or not we're capable of identifying franchise potential. And
mhm,
so when you go back to how we started as a business with this whole foot traffic thing and understanding if someone is going to lose money or make more money the next day, like that's ultimately what we do. Are you going to lose money if you open today? Um, we can also flip that and say, why did this person make money today? And we can understand what's driving traffic to your store. Is it
right,
because you offer a specific product? Is it because you offer a specific experience? But the moment we identify what drives traffic to whatever you have set up, we can
Mhm,
now identify the people that enjoy what you have set up. And then we can look at every single neighborhood
mhm.
and see what amount of people that are similar exist based off of a specific criteria. And I can say, hey, you're launched in a neighborhood where 20% of the people enjoy your services. Those 20% of people meet the following criteria. There's a neighborhood that exists 20 miles away where 60% of people match that criteria. So if you're making $1 million here, how much do you think you're going to make over there? You
Right,
know, like so we're doing a whole bunch of cool stuff in the business space. And this is just off the legacy model. This isn't even throwing in this whole network of cameras, which I think will drive even further, even faster, bigger transactions. But we shall
mhm,
see. I think we have a lot in the pipeline. We're
mhm.
obviously turning our head everywhere we can go, and we're running as fast as we can because it's a race. We've got
Right.
Meta dropping these glasses. We've got Apple dropping their headphones and
Mhm,
glasses.
mhm.
We've got Tesla who's powerhousing vehicles, and he's armed these Teslas up with cameras that like are way better quality than anyone has. So everyone's trying to get this same data, and I think we
Mhm.
have a solid chance because we're the only ones that came along and said you don't need to buy anything new. Like, that is the
Right.
biggest difference.
That's cool, man. That's pretty pretty high tech, man. That's pretty high tech for sure. So that's cool that you actually, you know, use the technology that's already there, just make it better. You know what I mean? So that's freaking
That's
cool.
it. If we have the tech to do it, do it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And this is a big one here. I heard a lot of people talking about this, talking to you about it, and this is one of the main questions I definitely wanted to ask was, does Extra actually care about privacy? Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot about privacy, and if you guys do, why is that?
So yeah, we care about privacy a lot. That is the ultimate deciding factor for a lot of people on our entire business model. So first, if we didn't care about privacy, like we probably wouldn't be in business
Mhm.
because that's what businesses care about because they can be sued for not caring about privacy. So it's a trickle effect. We care about privacy because our customers care about privacy. Our customers care about privacy because their customers care about privacy. And like it keeps going on and on. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I am the consumer as well. I care about my own privacy. And in order to protect my privacy, these are the steps that I have to take. And so there's no way around that. Um, and our product, just as like naturally given, like we interact with cameras. Cameras can see people. The moment that you bring that up, the privacy conversation is like top of everyone's
Yeah,
thought. You know, like
right.
you're doing what? You're tapping into cameras, like privacy. So just if with just understanding the technical aspect of what we're doing, we are purposely, it would be a lot easier for us to take a stream, send it back to us, and then qualify the stream and like try to determine what's going on in that stream. Like that would be a lot easier. But we're not doing it that way. We're using models and we're embedding them locally for most businesses. Some of them do have a cloud service that we use because they already started streaming to the cloud with a previous service. For the most cases, the actual stream of that camera doesn't leave the business. It stays
Mhm.
there. We never see it. It never touches anything that we have. In most scenarios, we get data back, and this data is what's going on that camera is showing something to the model that's on their screen. That model is sending us back basically a summary. This is what's happening, and this is the summary we use, and we get very detailed with this summary,
That's good.
enough to identify that you are sitting at home in a studio with a microphone at your face, some headphones on, and you're shaking your head right now. Like that's how detailed our models can get. But I can't
Nice.
ever say this is pump radio. I wouldn't know that. It would just know a man around this size.
Okay, okay. It just picks up what it sees. Exactly.
Yeah, it picks up what it sees and it describes it in the form of a math equation so that
Ah, okay.
we can calculate exactly where you're moving in that space.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I definitely had to ask that question because, you know what I mean? A lot of people were asking that question, you know what I mean? And I was like, all right, well, let's get into it with the interview. You know what I mean? Really put it down on there, you know what I mean? And what I gotta ask you, man, is what are you excited for with the project? You know what I mean? Like what makes you most excited about this project that you're doing?
I think the future state, like I can't get my head out of what happens next. I'm always thinking about like 10 years from now, what's going to be happening in the world 20 years from now. And like I try to wrap my head around, what's going on today and how much it's going to change. And what I like about this project is that it has for the first time, this is the first, I've come up with so many ideas in my life, going back to that entrepreneur part where you just can't stop, you keep going. This is the first time that I came up with an idea that I can't see an end to, where I look at it and I'm like, you can go on and on and on. This can truly scale with the way the world is shifting at all times. Even just the data play alone is one play, but like the idea of maximizing space, optimizing reality. If we think about AR and VR tech, there's a whole bunch of things that you can do here. It's such a flexible operation that like I'm excited for anything that comes out of this. Even the boring stuff. Like I sit here and work through traffic models for like almost every day, but I'm so excited to know that like we're doing something that's going to change potentially the future forever.
That's cool, man. And that's what we need, man. We need people to keep in the future, you know? We need people to come up with innovative ways to make things a lot easier for us, you know what I mean? Because the world's just getting harder and harder. And you know, that it just helps out a lot, you know what I mean? So that I give you props on that one, man, because you know, a lot of people don't look into that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't see that kind of stuff, you know. You got huge businesses out there that do it, but you know, they're not taking the action like how you're taking that kind of action. You know what I mean? So that's cool to hear. That's definitely cool to hear. And
Mm.
you know, like what's your next big step for extra? Like what's going to be the next biggest thing for extra?
Yeah, our roadmap is very clear. We have a
Mm,
solid path forward. So right now we are tightening up our methodology around traffic and what causes collisions, what causes traffic, what causes congestions. So our first step is to gain trust. That is on our roadmap. That is priority number one. We know that this is an obstacle we have to overcome. The privacy thing is going to keep coming up. We need to gain trust. We're going to do that by making it a lot easier for people to move from left and right, for people to go to a store and come back with no traffic, with hyper signals. We're doing a whole bunch of work in that space solely to gain trust. There's not a lot of revenue to be made working with governments, but there's a lot of changes that can be impacted. So that is step one on our roadmap. We're hoping by June, July, we're hoping to have a contract within the next year or so. We'll continue our work. On the back end, our current business model will continue. The individuals that are buying impression information for their ads, the people who want foot traffic data, all of this will continue. And we're going to start throwing our extra token in there so that this can start powering this network. Now, because we have a tight team, because we have these two work streams, this leaves me with the option to either grow my team so
mhm.
that we can take on these new apps and all these new initiatives, or tap into this network we're creating and say, we're going to power up devs and let them use our data, then start creating their own apps and let them drive forward. And we'll hire maybe two or three more engineers to come on board so we can launch our own extra branded apps that are to power the new world. But the goal is to open this network and say, like, somebody take the wheel, drive as fast as you can, and continue everything we have in the background to grow this network and really become the infrastructure that drives this data.
Nice, man. And I definitely appreciate you coming in, man, doing the interview here with Pump Radio, man. It means a lot to me that, you know, you would take the time out here to go ahead and do the interview with me for as big of a project as you are. So I definitely appreciate it. The last thing I gotta ask you, man, is just, you know, let everybody know where they can find you, where they can get in contact with you, where they could, you know. anything you want to say before we end the interview, but I just wanted to give you, your own your little spot here to go ahead and let everybody know where they could get you at, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So Extra AI, again, we have a small office. We're in New York City. That is one way. Come fly out here. Come meet us out here. There is a security at the entrance, so you might not just want to walk in. Maybe book an appointment. Shoot me an email. So info@extra.ai. If you send that email, our team's very responsive. Someone will get back to you. If you go through our website, I believe there's a request access link, and we probably need to update our website. So don't quote me on this. Like I said, when we first started business, we were door to door, man, grinding. So website, we'll update it, we'll get it on board, but you should be able to submit something through our website. X, I am super active on X. I started liking X like last year. X is a dope platform, and I never liked it. I was on Instagram for whatever reason. I hate Instagram now. But reach out to me on X. Is there Instagram so stupid now? Now that I'm on X, I was like, what was I doing before, man?
That's
What
funny
the hell?
because before X2, man, I'm like, "Oh, man, I love X," you know what I mean? Like, I could socialize and do a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? Now instead of, yeah, Instagram or TikTok or anything like that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, X is where it's at. So, yeah, guys, if you definitely wanna get in touch with him, X is where it's at, and definitely for sure, but, man, I appreciate you coming in. Like I said, guys, it's Pump Radio here with Extra AI. So give it up for him, man. I appreciate you coming in, and I hope this helps for the future, man. I definitely hope this helps for the future, and it's good for the history books, man.